One of the things that many men struggle with is how to show up in our relationships. And I think it's really about the feminization of the masculine has evolved over the last few years. And it's created this culture of girl power where their chant is, I don't need no stinking man in my life other than to subscribe to my OnlyFans page. Now, while that may be true to some extent, it has left men disenfranchised with the idea of even being in a relationship. So the scales are totally tipped one way, and it isn't towards us. So, what can we do about that? Well, today, I have a very special returning guest, and he and I are going to unpack this and so much more about just what it is to be in a relationship. Now, before we get into all that, as I said, and I know it's been never more challenging today to be a man. Because of that, many of us feel lots of pain. And it's a pain of loneliness, and it's a pain of unworthiness, and it's masked by our anger and our resentment. And it's all because we're uncertain and afraid to take a next step. So if you're tired and fed up with where your life is at, I'm going to encourage you to start your hero's quest. It's where you can become more, accomplish more, and live more than ever before. Just go to members.theawakenedman.net and start your quest today. With that, let's get on with today's episode.
The average man today is sleepwalking through life, many never reaching their true potential, let alone ever crossing the finish line to living a purposeful life. Yet, the hunger still exists, albeit buried amidst his cluttered mind, misguided beliefs, and values that no longer serve him. It's time to align yourself for greatness. It's time to become a revolutionary man. Stay strong, my brother.
Welcome, everyone, to the Revolutionary Man podcast. I'm the founder of the Awakened Man movement and your host, Alan DeMonso. So let me ask you, what role are you playing in your relationship? Are you leading or are you following? Now, these are two questions I continually ask myself. And when the relationship is going well, what part did I do in playing in that? Was I leading or was I following? And when the relationship isn't going well, again, how am I showing up? I'm not suggesting there's a definitive right way or a wrong way. Maybe my guest will agree or disagree with me on that. What I think is important is that as a conscious man in a relationship, that's the starting point that gives me the launch pad of where we can go. And so let's see what my guest has to say about this and so much more. Allow me to introduce Paradis. He's on a journey that leads him from former professional dancer to relationship coach who has worked his way out of a difficult childhood. His experiences worldwide from Japan to Bangkok have made him into a teacher and educated him in the fields of the male and female dynamics. He's taken all of this incredible knowledge, discoveries, and insight from his successful programs such as the Mankind Projects and PACs to help spread the message and help others. Puts so much effort to change the world one person at a time. And so passing on this profound understanding of what relationships are and arming us so that we can work towards what is tried and tested communication tools that often produce tangible and lasting results. Andre, my brother, how are things? How have you been? It's been so long since we last spoke.
I'm really, really good. Thank you. It's good to see you. It's been a while, and God, what an intro! You're like living and breathing what I do. This concept of manhood in the world and what's not working, and this madness out there. This absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
That we step back so far away from what's normal and natural, right? The new normal is ridiculous, and everything that's normal is been redeemed ridiculous. So the new normal is madness, and people think that's okay. And people who want to live traditional standard lives are like old and stupid. Well, how's it working out for y'all out there? How's it working out? How's your relationship? How's your girl? How's your household? All right? How's your life?
It's so true. And that's why I say I truly believe it is this feminization of the
Straight up.
masculine. And we become so afraid that, hey, if I be too masculine or too macho, then maybe I'm not showing up right. And I think that's the dumbing down of society.
Yep.
And it's been nothing but pain.
And it's, I believe, not to get political, because if we go there, we're going to be done, right? But there's an agenda out there. They know that if they destroy masculinity, they can get away with murder, because regular males would never let what's happening out there happen if they weren't shamed out of, even stepping up and, afraid to be toxic. And seriously, masculine men would never let what's happening out there take place. So that's how big and thick the movement is, and it's been going on for like decades, and here we are, right? Like nobody has the right to say anything against the current norm, really.
Yeah.
So you and I just, not taking that on.
Nope.
Just not doing it. Not doing it.
Absolutely not. I think there's just so much we're going to unpack here. And so, what have you
Yeah.
been up to lately, Wes? I know Project Equinox is a big part of what you do, but tell me what's been going on with the project and
Yeah.
anything else that's been on your
That's the
radar.
main thing that I do. I mean, it's not, I'm not a relationship coach because it's a hobby. This is how I pay the mortgage and the cars. Like this is my life. And so I'm in Los Angeles, so I'm busy because if you think about confusion, yeah, oh my goodness, it's a little bit worse here. Like the big cities are really, really in trouble. Like New York City, LA, Atlanta, right? Chicago. Like there's the more industrialized area you live in, the more the indoctrination is pushed in, and people are struggling, and men are stepping back, and women are like, I don't even know, man, and it's just say because it's different, in the smaller communities, it's different in the South to a degree,
Yeah.
right? So so I'm busy, it's fantastic, and so Project Equinox again, the business itself is great. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the big mission, the big mission, I have a God mission that I used to resent a couple years back when it kind of came down. It's not for me to build a business as much, for my own sake and help people one at a time. I'm called to put a dent in the cultural crap that's out there. Like
Mm.
you and I, with my calling is to dismantle the crap that's out there that is destroying culture. Because when you destroy your relationship, you destroy families, you destroy the ability for your kids to grow into healthy human beings who could, create healthy relationships, create good families, who then create. So when all this falls apart, society and culture falls apart. So that's the big mission. So my mission is to really spread the waves of hope and understanding, and really getting the madness that's out there that people think is kind of, normal, because it's very, very hard to push back against the tidal wave in the culture, right? The tidal was a
Yeah.
belief. Like, if you consider 15% of feminists that are angry, bitter, stupid, I want to say it, are the ones who are making all the noise and are scaring all the women that all men are dangerous, all men are bad, all men are shit, all men are toxic, all men are cheaters. Well, this is how you destroy an entire culture, because everybody's afraid. And like, again, it's easy to buy into. Everybody's been bent out of shape or damaged, especially in adolescence and early years, right?
Mm.
So it's easy to spread that around and literally have everyone terrified. So we then raise, you know, generations of women who can't trust men, who are afraid of men, who are told by their mothers, their school, their teachers, their girlfriend, girl, build yourself some safety, security, get a business, be a boss babe, and maybe later.
Yeah.
And the fact is, that's not how you do it. This is not how it works. And then on the other side, you know, 25 years later, 20 years later, lonely, burnt out, miserable, no dates, no relationship, no man, no companionship, no kids, and realizing, oops, maybe got sucked into something, and that's anyway. So I don't want this for anyone. This is
Yeah.
the terrible, terrible, terrible thing to get to. And I'm trying to sound the alarm. You don't want to be a client of mine. You don't want to be a client of mine. You don't want to be on the other side of this thinking I waited too long. I think what people don't think about in the first half of life is the second half of life. You know what I mean? Like by the time you're
Yes.
35 and 40, the priorities that you had as a kid, as a young person, man or woman, the choice that you make then will determine the rest of your life. So at 40, if you're single, childless, no relationship, most women suffer terribly.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that 40, the people that are available who, that they want for relationship, traditional men, they all want traditional men,
Hmm.
even though they're not traditional. They don't want to be traditional. So they've never been traditional. That's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And the guys who want to be married, want to be the traditional men are already married. They have their own kids. They're at 40 years old, building lives, having everything they want, right? And so the pool of available men at that age is gone. The
Yeah.
ones who are leftovers are weird, right? Not marriage material. They don't have it.
Yes.
Or they've been divorced and they don't want to do that over again. So they just want to fuck around and play with you. Congratulations, this is what's not working.
Yeah.
But again, the culture said, go girl. Okay, that's fine. But, look out. Because every one of my clients is 35 years old plus for the ladies. And they're miserable and they're tired and they want support and help, but they don't know how to do it because they've been masculinized since the day one. Oh, anyway, now I'm going off. So sorry. You got me going.
No, but listen, you made up a couple of good points there. I just wrote down. It's about the difference between living in the moment and being present, right? And so and then you talked about decisions, and I was just made that note down as well. And it's really about today's decisions become tomorrow's outcomes.
Yep.
And so when we start to decide, and now let's, you talking about, some of their clients being women at 35. And as I introduced the show about, hey, I don't really need a man, but please subscribe to my OnlyFans page. The flip side to that is are guys that are doormats. And that used to be me in my relationship, and really trying to be this nice guy because, I thought that would get me more love. That would get me more attention, but I didn't know how to be in relationships. So let's talk about what does that look like from those two perspectives, and between a man and a woman. How do we need to show up to really have a strong and powerful relationship?
So I totally relate because I was raised to be a nice man as well, a nice guy. So what happened is interesting, right? My dad was very 50s, right? So provide, protected, made a ton of money. He was a beast, right? And he was also very short. So he had something to prove to the world. So he got more beastie because of his Napoleon syndrome. I get it. But with that, he was over the top with everything, right? He kind of pushed everything and everyone around, my mother and us included, 5 kids. And she used to bitch and complain about him so much. He's too this, he's too that, right? Man, the man created an empire by himself at 5'3", right? But that was not good enough for her because he didn't, right? Now, he was unpredictable enough, and that's the part that, it's just what it was, that often we didn't know how to deal with him. Like he'd come home, is he going to beat us up? Not that happened a lot, but he'd be like really angry or tired. So he was unpredictable, or was he going to be cool today? So we learned to get away from him and get out of his way at all times. That's not really a good dynamic, right, to have in a household. So everybody just got away from him just because he was explosive.
Right.
Right. But when I look back on the things that he did, it's just, anyway. So, but the fact that she complained all the time because he was always working, you kind of take her side. Yeah, he's too much. Yeah, he's too big. Yeah, he's too controlling. Yeah, he's too. But with that, I rejected everything that he was doing, everything that he was teaching us, everything that he was modeling. This is what a fucking man does, right? Now, he went too far, right? So you want to be masculine with a certain amount of sensitivities because you're dealing with children, women, right? And life itself. But what happened to me, and I think maybe it's similar to what happened to you, but it happens to a lot of guys, when you reject your father because you're told he's not good enough and he's blah, 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 and he is a little bit hard to deal with, well, you reject your own masculinity.
Yes.
And then you embrace her way. How many times did my mother say to me, like, you be very sweet to the ladies, like, don't be like your dad. Don't be like your dad. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to be like him. Guess what that cost me? It cost me my balls. It cost me my courage. It cost me my confidence. It cost me my character, because if you're going to be a nice guy, you can't be yourself, right? You have to acquiesce. The problem with that, ladies, because you all keep saying you want a nice guy, you want a sweet guy, you want a sensitive guy, you want a guy who talks, who's vulnerable. Well, first of all, genetically, biologically, that's a girlfriend. That's not a man.
Right.
So that doesn't work, because these guys actually, when they show up simping and, and sort of acquiescing and getting, doing everything you want, and without without balls and or even an opinion in a sense of themselves, because they fold because they were told they were supposed to fold.
Yeah. You
don't respect those guys. You don't like those guys. And again, on a visceral level, on a physical, biological level, the reason why you can't get with those guys, they get friend zoned, is because a man who's soft doesn't make you feel safe.
Right.
And the first thing a woman needs to be able to relax and be feminine and to be able to be in her body and present and be the things that we love women to be is she has to feel safe. She has to feel safe. She has to feel connected. Then she could breathe. And those guys, the nice guys, I've been there. I've done it.
Mhm.
Don't make women feel safe. So, you end up in the friend zone and you don't know why. Because you've let go of your masculine traits. You've let go of the things that women need the most in the world to be able to relax into their feminine. It's not that hard.
That makes so much sense. I liked how you said that. It's about, when we become too soft, then the women in our relationships don't feel safe. And I think
They
that's
don't?
true because what we're projecting and we're saying is that, I don't have the balls to stand up for anything. And so if I'm not going to stand up for anything, how am I going to protect her? How am I going to look
Absolutely.
after her? So she's sitting there wondering, well, when is he going to stand up and say and do something? And you're sitting there thinking, hey, I want to be, I want to be respectful and whatever
Yep.
BS you're telling yourself. And then what ends up by happening is she loses respect for you,
Instantly.
right? And you sit there. That's how we get to that friend zone.
Yep.
And listen, you can be in the friend zone and be married. And it doesn't have this
No
doesn't be
kidding.
about. And you can be
Absolutely.
married a number of years and be in the friend zone. That was part
Yep.
of our relationship challenge with my wife and I. We've been together for, well, we'll celebrate 20 years this year. And
Nice.
a good chunk of last 7 or so years were pretty much friend zone stuff.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I started doing men's work till I start to get a bit of a picture, and especially talking with yourself, Andre, and getting a better handle on, because the thing is for guys is we don't have these conversations you and I are having today with our
I know.
with our bros, right? We just
Yep.
don't know how to do that because we're all coming off the same song sheet, and it's a really bad song.
Well, we tend to be again. I don't like the concept of it's because we're just built that way, which we are. Right? There's a lot of instinctual things that drives
Sure.
both men and women, and one of the things that drives men that is not necessarily helpful, right? Because there's a lot of good about that, right? Men tend to be stoic.
Yeah.
Men are not emotional. Men don't fucking fly off the handle. They don't do this. That's a feminine thing to do. When a guy can't control his emotion, he's a girl. You understand that? Every guy in jail is a girl with a penis.
Yep.
They lose their shit, and somebody gets hurt, somebody gets murdered, somebody gets raped, somebody gets beat up, somebody gets scammed, right? So emotional men are not stoic, and these are the guys that are dangerous. These are the guys that are toxic. These are the
Mm.
cheaters, the scammers, right? They're not. That's not masculinity. It's toxic masculinity. That's what that is, right? So it's a lack of masculinity that makes men dangerous and toxic, ladies, and that's only a small percentage of men, but you know, it's kind of spread through the system that all men are like this. That's not true. So
Mhm.
so stoic is interesting because that's part of being masculine. We have to control our emotions
Mhm.
in order to not be dangerous, because when you lose your shit, because we're on testosterone, people get hurt.
Yeah.
This is what I just said, right? So stoicness is amazing because that's, like I said, I understand this. Women are all about their emotions. Women are all about their feelings. That's what they live through, their feelings day in and day out, moment to moment. Everything they see, smell, taste, touch, hear makes them feel good and bad, moment to moment. And that will change moment to moment, just like the weather in Winnipeg. Right? Like it just will shift. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's traffic, sometimes their mothers, sometimes
Yeah.
it's her work, sometimes, right? She's good, she's bad, she's angry, she's sad, she's happy, she's mad again. Like in one day. Now, we don't do this. We're kind of stoked, which is the best. This is why we're made that way, right? The yin yang of masculine and feminine is complementary. It's essential. We
Yes.
stabilize them, right? And they inspire us. And I can say more about this, but the yin yang is beautiful. So,
Mm.
so being stoic is beautiful. However, often what happens to us is we're so stoic that we bottle everything up.
I was just gonna say this.
And this is when we get in trouble, because if you've had really challenging childhood lives, no daddy, bad daddy, don't know who you are, don't know how to be it, and you don't know how, again, friend zone, you don't understand women, you struggle with everything. Who do you talk to? As a kid, I was bullied. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. My parents, my friends, no one knew. Why? Because it was humiliating. I'm not going to share that with people. That makes me a pussy, right? Like, I won't do it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a pussy. I wasn't afraid. I got freaking slammed left and right. Stoic. Nobody knew.
Yep.
Like, so that's not necessarily good, is what I'm saying. So that our instinct is to be stoic. However, this is how men's work comes in. This is where men's works come in. We need each other to support each other, to relate to our problems and our pains and our struggles and all the stuff that we're dealing as men, because it's not easy to be a man. It is not, women who think that it's easy to be a man, you know, if you stepped in for a minute, you'd realize no one gives a shit. It's all on you. You have
Yep.
to handle it. No one wants to hear about it. Anyway, so only men, this is an actual, only men can help men with their men problems.
Absolutely.
So if you're a man out there struggling with misunderstanding or not understanding yourself and struggling with women, struggling with your life, struggling with getting ahead, struggling with disciplining yourself and build yourself up, go join a mentoring group of men. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And get some men's support, because if you bring your troubles to your girlfriend, your wife, or your mother, they will completely lose respect for you in 4 minutes. Women don't want to hear our troubles because, again, it makes you appear weak. And if you want to lose complete respect of women, go cry on them. See what happened.
Yeah.
So what I'm suggesting is not to not cry or not to
No.
do it with the man. This is where it's appropriate. Oh, anyway, you got me going again.
Well, I sit there. I think there's so much that we share in mindset, and I think the challenge that that I see in my men's work, at least, is that the guys, they have a bad experience in a relationship, and
Mhm.
so what they try to do to compensate is to do the exact opposite of everything. And I sit there and say, maybe some things needed to change, but only own your part of it. And this
Right.
comes back into, I know we've talked a lot about, how equality, or this idea that we need to be equals in a relationship, is
Nope.
a way to make it work.
Nope.
And what guys have a struggle understanding is that, that's why I said in the intro, are you leading or are you following?
Yep.
And we have to understand what position we're in each time we're having these interactions, especially
Yep.
when things aren't going great. So let's talk a little bit about this mindset that a lot of
Well,
us have about, well, we need to be equals. And that doesn't mean asking her to have her opinion about making a decision. I'm talking about the overall thing of being, hey, we're equal in the relationship.
and again, it's, everything I teach is nature, science, psychology, the biology of our bodies that creates the thinking and the acting. Right. So men and women are not the same, which means men and women are not equal. And they're equal in importance, right? But they're not
Mhm.
the same. Because now in our culture, equal became the same. So a guy is supposed to be sweet,
Yes.
sensitive, vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. No, that's a girl. And we raise women to be boss babes, go girl, don't need no man. Right? In the sense, like, it's trying to equalize the playing field, thinking if we got equality out there in the world for opportunities for work, for money, for business, it's going to create a more a more fair playing ground. So if everybody could actually succeed and, kumbaya, and it's all going to work. Look what's happening.
Mhm.
Exact opposite. Because that's not how it works. Men and women are complementary. Everything in nature that
Yes.
works, that flourishes, that expands, that grows is polarized. Masculine, feminine, yin, yang, black, white. One needs to exist for the other one to exist as well. So equality. So as human, we just think everything in nature is polarized. Everything in nature is polarized. Masculine, feminine. In every species on the planet, there's nowhere that the female acts like the male. Primarily because she makes babies.
Yes.
So he's got to protect the woman who makes his babies. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got to protect the babies and the family so he's the hunter, he's the protector, he's the fighter, he's the one that's out there fighting and getting the food with his buds to come back to bring it back to the camp, right? Like, it's
Yes.
just nature again. So the idea that we're equal, so we both get to work, we both get to fight, we both get to compete, we become man on man.
Yep.
And then the relationship is a disaster because men on men is competitive. It's not complementary. And women have decided that they have the right to, excuse me, um, drive, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have two drivers. You can't have two pilots. The plane crashes. If you both go for the wheels, the plane crashes. Now, again, ladies, breathe, breathe. I'm on your side. It's just what's not working. I'm pointing out what you bought into that's not working. You could be a boss babe at work. You can be a boss babe in the world. You can make your own money. If you a boss babe in a relationship with a man, the plane's going to crash. You cannot both go for the wheel. So, and again, if you talk about even in business, there's one CEO, right?
Yep.
And right, the president, vice president, pilot, co-pilot, driver, navigator, right? There's a guy on top who has to drive the show in every business. Otherwise, the thing collapses. You can't have two on top fighting. So there's this again. There's nature here. There's a what works as opposed to what doesn't work. So equality in relationship doesn't work. Somebody has to drive more, and somebody has to support the driver, and along with, all the flexibilities in the negotiation that comes in between.
Yeah.
Like the assistant, what's this assistant CEO called? Like, so there's a president and there's a vice president. The vice president doesn't make a decision, except they'll have a conversation with what's best for the company, how to work it out, what we should do, what we should stop doing, right? That's a fucking relationship, you guys. So when women decide they're going to drive and he needs to listen to her, and, she needs to do it this way or these things to be this way because that's what she's more comfortable with, without conversation, you end up man on man. You're competing, you're fighting, you're man on man. This is why people fight so much, right? Don't tell me what to do. I'm a grown woman. Yeah, okay. But, in a system of it, we know what's funny. And I'm going to say this, it's not funny. It's against statistics. I'm the king of statistics. I'll give you numbers till you just want me to shut up. But the statistics still this: strong, independent, powerful women who make money, they don't need men to support them, right? Who have kids, especially, want men to lead the household. They want men to be at the helm of the family. Women want to be led. This is nature all over again. So you could stomp your feet and, scream equality and call feminism and patriarchy all you want. When when the dust settles and the toxic ones stop talking, with the women that are left who think for themselves go, yeah, I don't want to do any of this. Yep. I'd rather just let a man just lead me, right? I'll support him, and we'll, again, negotiate the terms of everything that needs to be negotiated in the dance, because relationships are a dance. There's no equality there. And I'm going to do it again because I do it every time. If you look behind me, it's my wife and I dancing.
Yes.
There's no equality here. It's complementary. It's my yin to her yang. Do you know what I mean? So I lead and she supports my leadership. I can't take her on a fun, exciting adventure on the dance floor to make her squeal if she's going to try to control this.
Right.
She can't. So what I do is, by the way, the metaphors are fantastic. In the dancing, when I'm dancing with my wife, when I lead her in an adventure on the dance floor, right? I could be a bully. I could over lead her. I could actually hurt her. I could crank her shoulders. I could crank her elbow. I've done it. Do you know what I mean? If you're too forceful, she gives, so in the relationships, men who are too forceful, which is very rare nowadays, opposite, they just stand on the dance floor, put in her arms, and they don't move. And they go, what do you want to do, babe? And she's like, how about you do something?
Yes.
Yeah, but I want you to be comfortable. Yeah, well, this is uncomfortable. Do something. Take me. Do something. But men don't know how to do it. Anyway, so my point is, if I want to step into my masculine, I have to be sensitive to her needs. I have to be sensitive. I have to lead her with a certain amount of sensitivity so that she knows she's not going to get hurt. If she can trust me and knows that I'm not going to hurt her, that I'm really supporting her. I'm protecting her. Right? I'm taking her on an adventure, but she has to be comfortable for her to let me do it. There's a relationship that, model again. Then she can open up and be vulnerable to my leadership and let go of control, because she can't control this. Because we're gonna, if she tries to control and or even help, get this, I get the elbow to the nose or the knee to the groin. I've done it. Like women who can't be led, like you end up fighting with them on the dance floor. And what happened, ladies, is when you think you can lead your man or that you're 50-50, like a dance, it won't work. What happened is, elbow to the nose or knee to the groin, and guess what? You're going to find yourself on the dance floor by yourself. This is what's happening out there. So it's not equality. It's not 50-50. It's leader, and assistant leader. My wife supports my leadership, right? In that she can relax and be vulnerable and open and slip into her femininity. You know what I mean? And she, again, and there's a lot of communication without words, right? With the body language, with practice. So all these things have been negotiated. She knows. She understands my leadership. She flows my leadership. Again, she needs to trust and feel safe that I'm not going to spin her to a table, another couple at the wall, right? So
Yeah.
for her to let go of control is where the beauty of the dynamic runs. And guess what? If you've ever watched ballroom dancers or any
Yeah.
kind of dancers like couple dancing, no one looks at the guy. No one looks at the guy. Why? Because the woman is radiating with, she's free and feminine and
Yeah.
just like completely in the adventure of it. She's in the moment. She's present. She radiates, beauty and femininity just because she lets go.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm doing all the work on some level. It's not true because she has to support her side and all that stuff, right? She's doing
Yes.
everything I'm doing backwards in the dress. It's not easier, but it's complementary. And again, she gets all the glory. She gets to feel like a girl. She gets to let go and be taken on an adventure right? And makes me proud to be the guy and makes her happy to be that girl. That's the relationship model. What are we fighting for here?
Yeah.
Equality does not work. 50-50 does not work. You can't just go for the wheel, both go for the wheel, the plane crashes.
Yeah.
So,
Completely agree with that, Andre. You made a couple of comments there. I just wanted to touch on. You talked
yep,
about in this last little bit, it's into two words. One, trust, and the other, negotiating. So
yep.
how do we as men go about building trust? Is it through the negotiation or is that something different?
Well, for her to trust you, right, she has to know that you have your shit together. You know how to lead, right? You know who you are. You have good character, right? You're disciplined, right? You're not going to let her down. Like for her to feel safe, you have to get your life together.
Mm.
Period. So, like, women still expect men to be traditional: provide, protect, cherish, give, support, help. That's what women still want. But in our culture, we teach women to be nothing, to not be traditional. Don't need no man. I don't cook. I don't clean. I'm better than being somebody's, wife. And kids will ruin your life. Okay. All right. Way to go. And then at 35 plus, you become a client of mine going, I don't understand. I'm lonely. I'm bored. Money does not make women happy. I'm going to say it again. Money does not make women happy. Relationships, healthy relationship, relationships around a woman is what makes women happy. Period. The
Right.
relationship with their family, with their, love relationships with their family, with the people in her work, in her world, the mailman, right? Those relationships, as long as her relationships are healthy and flowy, women are happy.
Right.
Going to work in an office for 50 hours a week, traffic, the car, the insurance, the paying the bills, right? None of that makes women happy. And again, it takes to 35 plus for women to wake up to that shit. They don't want to do it. They're tired and they don't know why
Yes.
they're doing it. But they were told, go girl, you don't need no man. They're dangerous. And then they come to me with, but I want a man, but I don't want to work so hard. But like, I want companionship. But, what happens is they've been so masculinized. They can't get a date. Young, beautiful women can't get a date. Completely invisible to men, because when you're masculine woman, everything that's attractive about you is out the window.
Yes.
Masculine men are attracted to feminine women. So when everybody shows up masculine, you become like a rock. I don't see you. I don't care how you dress and how you smell.
Yeah.
You're just a rock, in a dress. Everything about you. So these women are like pretty. They have their shit together. They have money. They're like, I'm no maintenance. I should be attractive to somebody. But not now. You're not attractive to masculine men. They don't want you. They don't see you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these women don't know. They can't get a date. If they get a date, they don't get a second date. They get ghosted. Again, beautiful, capable, powerful women. What's wrong with me? I go, you're too masculine.
Yes.
And they go, that's mean. I goes, no, it's the fact. You show up with your balls and put your balls in everybody's face, and you think that's attractive. You've been sold the
Yeah.
lemon. What you do, your money is irrelevant to masculine men. They don't give a shit about what you do. It's interesting because it's who you are. But my point is, you think you'll impress a man with the fact that you're a CEO, you make three. No, that's not what men are looking for. So that's not. So
No.
like that's the disconnect. That's the disconnect for these ladies. So when you masculinize for 20, 25 years, you don't know how to be feminine. You don't understand what men are attracting. Well, and then what happens is ladies, which is even worse, right? Because
Mhm.
in my world, I think we talked about this, there's three types of men.
Yeah.
It's men, guys, and boys. And boys are the the men who did not grow up, the men who do not live through their natural essence. So instead of provide, protect, cherish, give, support, help women, right? Instead of giving and supporting women to make them feel safe, because that's what every woman needs. These guys are have been feminized so much, no daddy, bad daddy, boss babe mom, to be a sweet boy. And they realize this is a big problem out there. A third of men are now boys per our culture's modeling.
Yeah.
They by the time, if you over cuddle and feminize a boy by the age of 13, right, he gets to believe that women are here to serve him like his mother. So
Yeah.
these boys, these men child, they're everywhere, is what my clients, masculine women, will attract solely. Again, nature kicks in, yin yang, masculine, feminine, positive, negative. If you're a masculine woman, you will only attract feminine men.
Right.
And those guys are the toxic cheaters, assholes, right? Move into your house because this landlord's a douchebag, doesn't pay rent, borrows money, they say he's going to pay back, he never does, drives your car because he can't fix this piece of shit, right? And 6 months into this, but they're sweet and sensitive and they talk and they seduce you very well because they're girls with penises. They know what to say to seduce you, for you to take care of them, to pay for them. They take your time, your money, your sex, your advice. They suck everything off you, opposite of what real men do. And you wonder what the hell happened to your life 6 months later. And you think that's man. That's not man. That's boys. But you only get to attract ladies. Get this. This is huge. If you don't tune in your energy to attract masculine men, which means you have to be in your feminine, you will only attract boys and you'll think that's men because nature does what it does. You magnetize opposite of who you are. And you'll think that's men. You'll be resentful. And then you'll say men aren't shit. Men they're cheated. Yeah, those guys. There's only a third of them that are this. So you're completely invisible to the real man, the one who are traditional. So that's a big problem. That should be that should be a reason for you to get on the phone and try to get a hold of me or somebody like me to tune that up, because it's not going to change by yourself. And you can't just say, oh, I'll be a girl now. It's much, much deeper than that after you've been trained your whole life to be a man. Oh, I did it again. Sorry. It hurts. It hurts me to watch. These ladies are in pain. It's not cute. It breaks my heart.
Yes.
Men are confused. Men are lonely. Men don't know where to throw themselves. And the ladies are angry and lonely. It's horrible. Like, it has to stop.
Well, and I think part of the challenges for many of us as men is that we don't really even know what we want.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't understand, because, some of my experiences that with some of the work that I'm doing is that men have really struggle with this decoupling from their mothers. Right. And that's why we're looking for that someone that's going to, take care of me, do my laundry, and, just mother me. And we don't understand that that's not what makes a healthy relationship. So in your work, what do men want? Or what do women want? Maybe I should ask that instead. What do women want, so that we have a better understanding in our minds, so we can show up properly and we know what work we need to do?
This is very simple. I said it earlier. Women need, not want, need to feel safe in order to be feminine and present and warm and lovely. Women who are feminine, you'll see older women who are naturally feminine because they're from the fast couple generations,
right?
Who know how to be lovely women, and they're radiance everywhere, and they smile at everyone, and everybody knows their name, and right, they have a circle of people who recognize and love them. They're just radiant, beautiful women who kind of uplift, the room when they step into space. Do you know what I mean? So women need to feel safe. So what men need to understand is the only way to make you feel safe is for you to become something solid. You have to build your character. You have to build your confidence, which means you have to discipline yourself, do something that's hard to do.
Yes.
Do something that's hard to do, whatever it is, right? Build a business, build a career. You could, whatever. It's that, something that gives you character, that builds your self-confidence, right? That you could be proud of. What happens is if you step into your life and make something of yourself, you have to get first self-respect and get respect for the world, for both men and women. So it's not about chilling. It's not about, what do you want to do, babe? Where do you want to go? Do I see you this weekend? Do I see you Thursday night? Like, what the fuck is that? Right? Women are like, dude, handle your shit. But again, in a world where we don't want to be toxic, right? We think we're being polite, we're being passive, we're being soft. Women hate it. You understand? Like, it's not a little bit, they hate it. They fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Don't put it on me. I work all day. Like, make the fucking plan. Excuse my French. Now I'm cursing because I'm passionate, but there's the French in me. Yeah, my point is, like, so men, you have to handle your stuff. You have to handle your stuff, and you have to know who you are. And when you kind of build your character and your confidence, and you're relevant out there in the world, you're making money and you're making a difference, this is when men go, I'm here. Right? And women find that absolutely sexy.
Absolutely. Well, and you used the word solid. And you talked about building confidence. I think those are really key pieces. Again, that's the masculine aspect of ourselves. And
Yep.
we need to come back to and become more centered in, what is important to us. Because if we don't know what's important to us, how do we expect the women in our lives to know what's important? My wife and I were having this discussion back and forth. Like I said earlier, it's our 20th anniversary this year. And we usually travel in October when our anniversary is. And
Yep.
we had thought of a couple of places, but no decisions had made. And so finally I just said, okay, we're going to do this. And she came to me right after and said, thank you so much, because this has been weighing on me for so long.
Yeah.
I needed you to make a decision. And I sat there and thought, geez, Al, how
There
long
it
am I
is.
going to carry this? And all I
Yep.
needed to say is we're doing this. And if
Yep.
she didn't want to do it, then we could have had the conversation
Right.
and negotiated. But because it was sitting in the ether,
Right.
this was slowly eating away at her. And I think to myself, how many other instances are there in our relationships that men are doing that? There's a conversation, and at some point we're not making a decision.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we need to make all the decisions, but to make one.
Right. But this is the stuff that women hate. If you're not decisive, you're kind
Mhm.
of big a noodle, and if you lose, she's gonna have to pick up the slack. Now, this
Yeah.
is again instinctive. If you don't lead, she's gonna. And she's
Mhm.
gonna hate it, and she's gonna judge you for it, and she's gonna lose respect for you, right? If you don't make the plan, she'll make the plan. If you don't get things happening, she'll make things happen. I guess it's the same thing in the dance, by the way, right? If I'm dancing with my wife,
Right.
and because I'm in charge, I'm thinking I'm also planning ahead. As I'm doing something, I'm actually into the next step,
Right.
right? So I know, just like, so if I have a brain fart, right, as I'm leading her, and for a second I go, wait, what? Like a second, the moment I go, wait, what do I do next? Do you know what I mean? She instantly stiffens up, like in my arms. Like, she can instantly feel that now I'm out of control, and which means she's out of control and she's unsafe. And seriously, it's like lightning bolt to her body. And then she's going to try to help. And this is when I get hurt, right? So the same thing in relationship. If you don't have it, man, she will take it and she will resent you for it because you scared the shit out of her.
Mhm.
You're not a leader. She is. Again, if you understand women want to be led, then you have to know where the hell you're going for her to feel safe. Serious. It's not that complicated, right?
Yeah.
So you don't ask her, get this. I'm going to tell you an example of the way I do it with my wife now. And again, I used to be the polite guy. So, babe, where do you want to go for dinner? So, hey, babe, what kind of movie you want to go see, right? Thinking I was being polite. She hated it.
Mm.
Because if you ask a woman what she wants and when she wants it, how she wants it, you put her in the masculine. They hate it.
Yes.
You're the man, right? But we think we're being polite. This is what's culturally the big problem for a lot of guys. Don't put her in charge, because if something goes wrong, she will blame herself and it'll ruin the evening.
Mhm.
Get this, seriously. Like, if she picks the movie and the movie sucks, and you get out of the theater going, "This is bullshit. I can't believe I paid $26 for that shit." She's gonna be mad at you because she made the bad choice of the movie.
Yes.
Now she's disappointed you, and it's gonna ruin the evening.
Right.
And you're like, "No, but it's not your fault." Oh, too late. You put her in charge, and she made a bad decision. You just ruined the evening.
Right.
I've had clients come at me with going out for dinner on Saturday night. "Where do you want to go?" She says, "I want to try this new restaurant." This is a true story. And they went to the restaurant. He's a guy like me. He likes to eat well, and then he works out. So he goes, "We get to this restaurant. Everything was covered in cheese.
Oh.
Everything's covered in cheese." So he looked at her after she asked her where she wanted to go. She wanted to try this new restaurant. They get there, and he's like, "I can't eat anything here. I don't want anything here." He goes, "I'll just have a glass of wine and you eat whatever you want." She got furious. slowly. It took like 10 minutes. She went dark in front of me, just disappeared.
Yeah.
Right? She stopped making eye contact. I'm like, I don't know what happened. Like she literally was, we ate quickly because she was miserable. I put her in the car. She's not talking to me, looking outside the window, and he drops her off. They were dating at the time. And he says, I don't know what happened. I'm like, you dumbass. You put her in charge and you said, I don't, your choice of restaurant sucked. You ruined the evening.
Yes.
Well, it's not her fault. I go, I know, but you put her in charge. So to her, yeah, it's her fault. She took it personally.
Mm.
Don't do it. Anyway, so you know what I do to my wife? It sounds so weird. And
Yeah.
even if get this, I tell her when to be ready, right? 7:00, we step out. When to be ready, right? And the level of fanciness, because she needs to know how to dress.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? If we go to the beach, obviously it's tennis shoes and shorts, right? Like even if we go like have a taco on the beach, that's a different than, going to the Italian restaurant. So the level of fancy, casual, medium, fancy. Fancy means high heels, hair up, dress by boom, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's all I say. I go 7:00, level of
Love it.
fanciness, and I say nothing else. And she literally gets giddy. Like she does the Fred Flintstone thing, like on her toes.
Yeah.
Right? It goes in the dressing room, and obviously I give her 2 hours to get ready. I give her whatever she needs to get ready.
Yes.
So I need to warn her way ahead of time. So
Right.
she knows 7:00 to be by the car. So the more fancy the longer it's gonna take her. So whatever. And she gets in the car. She's giddy. She's excited. She has no idea where we're going. She didn't care.
Well,
Now,
that sounds so similar to what we were doing. We decided as a couple that, I took the second Friday of the month, she took the fourth Friday, and the goal was that each one of us would plan a date night, an outing,
okay,
and it was up to that individual to make all the choices. So
yep,
after we had talked a little bit about it, did something similar. I like what you talked about. I like the idea of fanciness level because we did everything from we're not dancers. We have nowhere near the level that you and your wife are. So that was one of the things we did. I chose that. I thought, what a great way to really learn intimacy, trust
Mm.
is to get on the dance floor because
yeah,
we have to trust each other on the dance floor. Otherwise, like you said, it's going to be a knee to the crotch or an elbow to the face. And so we had so much fun doing that. And then, but what was nice about it is that we didn't have to worry. We put some rules around it. Okay. When it's those nights, there's no friends unless we check early.
right,
'Cause the goal was to spend time with each other. We just don't
yep,
have a lot.
yep.
And so I like how you've structured that and what a simple tool that we can use
So is it now?
for
I
our
have to
relationship.
say this because it doesn't work. Like you have to know the woman in order to be able to do that,
Yes.
right? Like so, what happens? Just like on the dance floor, she knows what I'm going to pick is going to work. She knows I know what she doesn't like. I know what she likes, right? So we have history. So it's easy for me to go 7:00, you know,
Sure.
like 1, 2, 3, and then she's giddy. She knows it's going to happen. It's going to be an adventure. It'll be something new, whatever, right?
Yes.
Now, in the beginning, though, in the beginning of a relationship, right? Like I said, if you're dating somebody, men will go to women and say, "Where do you want to go? What do you want to eat?" Right? And again, the girl's like, "How about you make a plan?" That's women don't say this, but they want to say this. How about you make a plan and let me know what the plan is?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so get this. So I tell men this. So, of course, you don't know her. So you want to know, like, maybe she's allergic to fish. Maybe she hates sushi. Maybe she loves sushi. Maybe she hates Italian, right? Or Mexican. You don't know.
Yeah.
So instead of guessing or putting it on her, especially in the beginning of a relationship, don't put it on her. Just don't put it on her. You look like a pussy.
Mm.
You're going to stress her out with these decisions,
Yeah.
right? If you want a girl on your arm, take control, take charge, take the lead.
Yeah.
You got to have a girl on your arm instead of a dude that you put in charge. And you wonder why she's not really present. Anyway, so get this. So you go like this. I go, don't ask her what she wants. Don't ask her what she wants because she doesn't know what she wants. And that's a whole different conversation. But
Yeah.
factual, women don't know what they want. They don't. They're stuck. They get stalled. They get stressful when you ask them that, right? I
Yeah.
said, don't ask her what she wants. Ask her what it is that she doesn't want.
Mm.
She knows exactly what she doesn't want. She was and she might say, I don't want sushi tonight. Okay, so that's your guidance. So, okay, got it. So no sushi. They make a plan to get back to you, right? So now, as a woman, you have to just let him lead, right? You don't get to, like, you want him to lead, you want to feel like a girl, then let him take it. So
Yeah.
for the man, ask her what she doesn't want, right? And okay, so I'll do stuff like this with my wife in the beginning, especially
Mm.
7 o'clock. We're going to Italian, long dress, bring the dance shoes because we're going dancing afterwards. That's a plan.
Right.
Like, oof. Now a woman's like, this is first flattering, it's masculine, it's
Mhm.
gentlemanly, but this is the caveat. Are you ready? Because again, men will say, well, what if she doesn't want to go Italian? What if she doesn't go salsa dancing? Right? Again, the idea is to make the plan, to make her feel like you're the man,
Yeah.
to make you feel like you're the man. Make a freaking plan. That's what they want. I'm telling you, I hear this every day. Make a freaking plan. Let me
Yeah.
know what it's flattering. Anyway. So this is the caveat. 7 o'clock Italian, fancy salsa shoes, right? Here's the caveat. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is what makes you a hero and a king. The man, listen carefully. People pay a lot of money for this advice. I give it for free. I'm gonna give you one for free. It's worth it. Then you say to her, you make the plans, you announce the plans, you go, how do you feel about my plan?
Ah.
Now that gives her the opportunity to adjust a little bit, right? Now, ladies, you don't get to undo the plan. You get to like adjust it for your comfort. You're a woman. You're going with this plan, right? You're going with this flow. You want to support the leadership. You want him to, right? So,
Mm.
how do you feel about my plan? Means often the lady would say, well, can we go a little earlier? Because I don't want to be home too late. Adjust. You're a hero. You made the plan. It's right. Or, you know, like whatever it is, like
Mm.
how do you feel about my plan? So you make the plan. She feels like a lady. You're the gentleman. And you're respectful enough to ask her how she feels about it. And she gets to tweak it if she needs to. Again, ladies, you don't get to undo it. You don't get to say, I don't want to go salsa dancing. I'm not doing Italian. This is when you end up, staying home next time.
Man.
Because you can't make a man, you can't ask a man to lead and then make him wrong for leading. Can't do it. So, and my clients would typically say, like, I really don't care what we eat as long as he does it.
Right.
Right. Literally, like, if you're allergic to, my mother's allergic to shellfish.
Right.
So she would say, I'm allergic to shellfish. Take it.
Yep.
She'll eat anything outside of it. Right? So women don't care. If you take the lead and, especially a new place, a new restaurant, and it's an adventure. That's what they want.
Yes.
Take the damn lead, man. Take the damn lead and ask her how she feels about your lead. And now you're the king, the gentleman. And she thinks, wow, this guy's got his shit together. Never met a guy like this before. Welcome to
Man,
our
just
culture.
yeah.
Hey,
I
what?
just
What? It's
I
not that
love that.
hard. It's not that hard.
I know. I know, and that's why we have we have these conversations to help all of us get better at showing up. So just as we start to wrap up here, Andre, of
Sir.
everything that we spoke about today, maybe there's something we didn't get a chance to touch on. What would be the one takeaway you'd want our listeners to have?
Well, the things that I say all the time is because, again, we talked about this in the beginning, it's very, very hard to go against the cultural tidal wave of shit.
Mm-hmm.
What's out there is shit in relationships, in love, right? In dynamics. There's a lot of, the movement out there is putting everybody against each other as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to see the possibility of coming together everywhere. Right? So I want to say, and this is what I do with my clients, right? Like, what is it that you want? What is it that you want? Forget your mother, forget who made some terrible choices, who's telling you that men are dangerous because she picked poorly, or she didn't know how to set boundaries, or you know what I mean? Like, because it's all about that, right? It's a
Yeah.
dance. So if she picked the wrong partner, or never learned to dance with him and struggled, and that's not on you, right? So, like, if your mother scared you that men are all, that's crap. There's no such thing as men are all, and they're always and they never.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Same with women. Like when somebody says you never, you always, this is crap.
Right.
It's you. It's you. It's you. Sorry. It's you and your choices and you bet, whatever. So I have my assistant. My assistant is 28 years old. A lovely young woman. Wants a traditional life with 3 kids. She can't say that out loud. Women attack her. girl, we need to talk. What is wrong with you? You're better than,
Wow.
than being somebody's slave wife, and children will ruin your life. And she's like, can you just drop dead? But the fact is, because she's feminine and she wants to be a girl and a woman and a wife and a
Mhm.
mother, that when she calls it out, they attack her, and she's feels terribly uncomfortable with this. So she can't even say that out loud because she literally gets attacked. Her mother and her friends and like, so she can't say that out loud.
Wow.
So she has to bottle that up, you know what I mean? Because she's like, wants to be traditional. So what I'm saying here is this, especially with the ladies and the man, right? What do you want? If you want family and kids, forget your culture, forget your mother, forget your girlfriends, forget your freaking university teachers who like twist your brain with all this bullshit.
Mhm.
What do you want to be a girl? You want to be a mother and a wife? Go fucking do it. Men are
Absolutely.
traditional out there. Men are much more traditional than women are nowadays. So men, I'm telling you, men who get their lives together want women. They want wives and children. They want to build an empire and put their arms around all of it and protect it. Men are still that more than women.
Yeah.
It's the women who don't want to play the game, right? Okay, well then there you are. Right? So I'm saying use your own brain, make your own choices. You want to be a wife and a mother. You want to be traditional. Step into it 100 miles an hour and forget everything that anybody else is telling you that's wrong with you. It's crap. You know what I mean? You want to be boss babe, make some money, and fine, just be that. But for the man, same thing. Man up, get your shit together, go to
Yeah.
the gym, build your character, build your confidence, build your body, build your brain, think for yourself. Forget what anybody's saying out there about masculinity being toxic. Fuck it. Step in, and all of a sudden you get really sexy, and you have an array of opportunity of chances with women because you stand out now in a culture where men don't step up. So handle your shit, and you get sexy. So simple,
Man,
right?
I love
So
that.
just saying, like this. So make your own. Think for yourself. Make your own choices, and forget all the shit that's out there. It's not going to help you.
What a great way to sum that everything up. Love that.
Oh,
Thank you so much, my
yeah.
friend Andre, for being on the show again. And
So yes, sir.
we had such an outstanding conversation about masculine, feminine relationships, everything. If men are interested in getting hold of you, participating in your work, what's the best way for them to do that?
I actually have two gifts for your listeners,
Ah,
if you don't
awesome.
mind. So two gifts. So my website is projectequinox.net, and you're gonna, and it's connected to YouTube's, and I just got suspended on Instagram, which is hysterical. Uh, I don't know. I think it's a mistake because there's nothing I post that's even, near that. But I've had all the social medias connected to the website, so you can go to the website and spend sometimes uh, researching what I do. But my gifts for you listeners, because I do a lot of podcasting for this reason, because again, my God mission is to change the culture of
Mm,
belief, bring hope and relief, and that this could all work because it's actually not that complicated if you don't listen to the culture.
right.
Right. So that's my job to get it out there. So thank you for helping me send the waves out that this is doable, it's repairable, there's hope. It is, people want relationships. Both men and women want relationships.
Yeah.
Anyway, if so I do podcasting, and I realize in doing podcasts there's two types of listeners typically. There's people who want information
Hmm.
and people who want to take action. It's interesting. So my two gifts go like this. So if you want information, this is more for the ladies, right? You email me directly, andrecoaching1@gmail.com. Andre coaching, the number one at Gmail. That's my direct email. In the title box, if you say workshop, what I do is I have a 25-minute free workshop about how, as a woman in the world, modern women who are encouraged to be masculine, go for the money lane, but still want the love lane, right? There's two lanes. And you can't be in both lanes. It doesn't work. Women try to be in both lanes, and this is
Right.
why they suffer. So how do you balance the love lane? Because you have to work with with the money lane. I mean, the money lane with the love lane. There's a way. So this is a 25-minute sort of workshop. It's free. So if you email me, Andre Coaching One, I will send you the link and you can listen to it. It's good information, right? It'll give you a sense of the work that I do and what doesn't work.
Right.
Okay. So again, it's not out there. So that's gift number one. Gift number two, if a person, and the people who like, okay, this guy got some stuff, I'm curious, I want to talk about, my challenges, right? It takes a little courage, I would say. You go andrecoaching1 at Gmail, in the box you write talk now, and I'll send you a link to my calendar. Well, you'll book a call, a one-on-one call like you and I right now with me, and we'll talk about where you're stuck, what's not working, what's your trouble, right? Where you're, so like I said, my nickname is Dr. Dre, right? Call the doctor, we'll talk about what's not working, when you're hurting. It's always based in childhood, right? A lot of my work is therapeutic and release of trauma. That's where we start. I can't get anybody in a healthy relationship until you unload your baggage. We all have baggage.
Yeah.
But the women who are masculine have some bigger baggage in childhood. The men who are feminized or stuck in also have their baggage. So in that call, in really 15 minutes, we get to literally get to your baggage, and you realize exactly when the wheels came off and why you're stuck, why you're stuck in the loop, why you keep attracting boys if you're a woman, why you're masculine if you're a girl, and what it's costing you, and right? And same with a man. So that call alone, when you realize that it's circumstantial, there's nothing wrong with you,
Right.
it's so liberating for some people. It's just like, because if you know circumstantial and it's not your fault and you're not broken, it's
Right.
fixable. And this is what we do, right? So from there, what's the dream? What's the dream life? Your companionship, marriage, kids, whatever it is, right? And I'll talk about, different ways to get invested with me if you want to. But for some people, just that call alone would change their lives.
For
Because
sure.
they can walk around understanding they're not broken. Liberating.
Absolutely.
So that's my gifts for y'all.
Love it.
Y'all.
I'll make sure those are in the show notes for today, as well as all the social media, wherever they can, so people can find you. Once again, brother, thank you so much for being on the show. Just loved the conversation.
Anytime. And we could do it again and again and again. There's like 75 different ways
Absolutely.
to approach this whole thing. But my man, I appreciate you helping me getting this out there to bring hope to the world.
You betcha.
Thank you for listening to the Revolutionary Man podcast. Are you ready to own your destiny? To become more the man you are destined to be? Join the brotherhood that is The Awakened Man at theawakenedman.net and start forging a new destiny today.